Well, we've waited. Give me a second. I need to find out. I see Vogel's not here yet, so let me check in on him.
I'm here.
He's there.
Oh,
He's admin.
good.
Oh,
I'm just trying to
I
find
didn't see your name
iPad.
there.
I was
Are
trying to
you
find
Mr.
his
iPad?
too. Correct.
oh my God, what is this? I mean, sharing screen has stopped.
No, I see you sharing.
Yeah, I still
You
see
got your
your
shared screen here,
Oh, okay, okay.
and I'll get a quick introduction. Mr. Vogel, affectionately known as Big B. He runs our homeowner center. He really focuses on smaller projects in the district. And most of those are submitted by homeowners and helps get them through quickly. More importantly, for the last year, he's been one of the leaders on our team for the development of the new application process called the Permit Wizard. And that is exclusively for residential 1 and 2 family projects at this time. What I want to do is we're trying to get the word out more about the Permit Wizard. It is a far easier application process to start a permit application. And it certainly streamlines our ability to start reviewing the project. So what I'm turn over to Mr. B to do is to walk through that Permit Wizard, how that application works, give some tips and tips on what to, where to answer specific questions, what have caused people problems. And we're looking for, for any input you may have, because, hey, listen, we still are doing adjustments to this almost on a bi-weekly basis. We send out some adjustments. So he's a huge advocate for people who have ideas on how to improve it as well. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Big B and let him walk you through the application process.
Okay,
Sounds good.
thank you, Mike. And good afternoon all, and welcome to this session to explain that application process, that how to start with that application and come to the end of the application. So when you log into Access DC, so basically this is the screen you will see. And in the screen, you will see so many other things, but this Permit Wizard is the place where you have to click to start your application. But since I'm trying to explain you that how to fill that application, so I'm taking on the other part of the application in the sense that it is to explain you that how to start the process. So when you sign in to the Access DC, so let me sign in with my name. This is our testing site basically, so I have to take you all to the testing site to explain. And excuse us if system sometimes takes time to respond. So no. Because this is a testing site basically, so.
Is this, even though it's a testing site, is it the same site?
Yeah, it is the same site. It is the same site. Okay, now you will see this. I mean, you are seeing so many other applications because we are in the process of testing every day. So that's the reason that you are seeing. But to start the new application, this is the place where you have to start your application, that new project. So once you click on the new project, the next page opens, which tells you to give the name of the project. And this name, you can assign it to your convenience. It doesn't affect anything in the application. So I will just name it as a test. So when you fill this name, so this is just a beginning of the process. And then you will see that this button becomes blue and you have to continue. Now, I mean, right now, this application is applicable only for the residential. So it is a 1 family or 2 family residential project. And we are still in the process of doing the commercial project application. But right now, our intention is to explain you that how the residential project application goes through. So if you select this, it will tell you that, okay, this is not the right place. So you have to go to the Citizen Access portal to start your application. But if you click on this, then it will tell you that, okay, continue. Now, the very first part comes is that what is the address of your property where you intend to do the work and you need a permit for that property. So we'll select, I mean, if you can give me any address, I will put that address so that, is anybody like to share the address?
1316 T Street.
1316. And
T.
here, T Street, okay. Now here you have to take one precaution that there are asterisk marked on this particular that street number. So that means this is a house number. And then you have to fill only the third column, which says the street name. And there is an asterisk to that. So you say it is a T Street, okay? Should I increase a little bit? Yeah, okay. So T Street, you don't have to fill all other things which are here. You have to fill only the information where the red asterisk is there. And then you search for the address. Now, this gives two options that there are two 1316 T Street. So you have to select the right one. So
Northwest.
Northwest, okay. Now you see, all other information has come automatically into this. And then this button is again blue, so you can continue. Yeah, okay. I mean, let me just little go back. You make sure that you don't fill any other information except those two which I have filled that. That is the 1316 and the T. That's it. And if it is a 4th street or 6th street or something like that, you have to put 6 and TH, 6th street. Okay, now these are the information which are coming, that this is the address, this is a square, and this is a lot number, and these are the owner's name. If it is correct, you have to click yes. If you click no, it won't allow you to proceed with that application until you get this thing corrected in the OTR, that is a Tax and Revenue Office, or you can give them a call, or you can go to this site and you have to get this corrected on the Tax and Revenue Office so that the right information comes when you start filling that application. But here I will say that it is yes. So sir, is it correct?
Yes, it is correct. And I would, ask one question. Suppose they had just bought the property. How quickly does this get updated from the tax records?
That part I cannot say anything because it is purely, but there is a still, we have kept some flexibility in the sense, even if you fill that application in the old owner's name, and maybe that you can send us a copy of the deed.
Okay. All right. I didn't mean to sidetrack you.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can ask a question in between. I don't mind that, but yeah. So if it is correct, click yes, and then this button will become blue to continue. Okay, so these are, I mean, it gives that advisory that it is in historic. So that's the most important thing. So this, I mean, but it doesn't affect anything in the application or in the process. So this is an historic district, and it is good that you have selected this address, I will tell you. Then if you feel that everything is okay, but you can go anytime back and do any correction if you need so. So continue. Now, when you're filling this, are you the property owner? When you're filling that application, there are two possibilities. Either you are going to fill that application yourself as a property owner, or the representative of your owner is trying to fill that application. So these things, if you select the representative, and then it will ask you some other question, that is he going to be compensated for this project or not? Because sometimes what happens is that your brother or the sister, he may like to fill that application on your behalf, but he is not getting any compensation. So these are, but for the easy things, we will select that you as a homeowner, you are filling this application. Now, when you are filling this application, so naturally you have to select one of these names, whether, I mean, he or she, whatever it is, and then give your phone number. So I will give my phone number, office number. Okay. And if you're not giving any phone number, it will not allow you to continue. So you have to give the phone number to make it possible to go further. Okay, continue. Now, the next question is that who will be completing the work? Is it the property owner or the contractor or trade person? So if you give the name that, okay, the contractor is going to do the work, this application is going to ask you that what is the license number of that contractor? And you must have the valid license number to fill here and proceed with that application. But
Can I give you mine?
say again.
Can I give you my license number?
Oh yeah, sure.
50004406.
Then you have to get it validate. So it says you must have an active, I mean, there is some problem with your license number, so you have to contact Basic Licensing Administration to get this corrected. But I will note down this number.
Yeah, I'm looking at my license. It's the right number.
Well, I
I've had
think
this
what,
problem before.
Hey, do you have some unpaid parking tickets, Dave?
No.
wait, isn't there lead-in letters?
Have I what?
Huh?
Are there leading letters with that 500 number? I don't recall.
No,
No, okay. Vogel knows. And you're working in the test environment, right, Vogel?
yes, so maybe because of that reason.
That's not,
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? That's my salesman's number.
Okay. So anyway, I mean, for the convenience to complete this application and let you know the process, I will select that the work is
Okay.
done by the, I'll go back. Continue. I will select that the property owner will be doing the job. But here that, I mean, we have kept one flexibility that any time if you want to add the name of the contractor, you can add any time. Even the application is complete or even after the permit is issued, still there is a provision to add the name of the contractor, which comes at the end of the application. Okay, so right now I'm taking that property owner is completing the work. So continue. Now, these are the quick selection, whether it is a one family house or two family or the condo or one family with the ADU. So this, I mean, it is an individual that what that property is basically. So
Single family.
for the convenience, I will select one family. Okay. Are you changing the use of the property? That is, I've selected single family. Are you making as a ADU or two family or whatever it is? So that option is also there, but here I will select that I'm not changing the use of the property. Now, are you revising an existing permit that was submitted through the permit wizard or applying for a new permit? So this application gives you the option that if you want to revise the permit which has already been issued in the permit wizard, so you have an option to revise that. But if you select the revision, you have to give the old building permit number which is valid. Okay, that means the permit has not expired and you are asking for a revision. So this number you have to give it. But for the convenience sake, we will select that it's a new permit and continue. Now, you have the option to select whether you are doing interior work or exterior work or both. I will select both because in that case, I can show you that how the other permits automatically gets generated, because in this application the best part is you don't have to decide that what permits you need, whether you need a building permit, whether you need a shed permit or you need a fence permit. It will decide automatically once you keep giving the information in the application. So I'm selecting that I'm doing both, that means interior and exterior. Continue. Now, is this application for electrical, plumbing, and gas or mechanical work only? So this application will give the option to pull exclusively the trade permit also. If you just want to pull the trade permit only, not the building permit, not any other permit, it gives you the option to fill that application for the trade permit also. But it will, an application will decide whether you need a building permit for that or not, whether it has been issued or not. So when you apply for the trade permit, if you select, then you make sure that you have the relevant building permit to start the process of filling that, going further on that. So, but here, since we have selected that we are doing interior as well as exterior, so it is not for electrical, plumbing or gas only, it is for so many other things. So I will say that no, this is not for that. Now, when it comes to the interior, so it can be addition, it can be basement renovation, bathroom renovation, converting basement into a separate unit. All these options are there in entire interior of the property you are trying to renovate, or you are just applying for the interior demo, kitchen, underpinning, others and all that. So I will select that I'm doing the entire interior of the property. Okay, so that will generate all other permits also which are required. So let me select this and continue. But you can select if you are renovating only the bathroom and the kitchen, so you can only select this and you can take out this. But for convenience, let us select all, entire interior of the property and continue. Now coming to the exterior. So exterior, I will select, okay, I'm making a deck. Okay, I'm replacing the doors and the windows. Windows are here. Okay, and exterior demo, if you want exterior painting, because historic does need a permit for the painting, so that is why it is there. And I'm going to put the fence also. I'm going to put the shed also. So you can select, whatever suits you. Okay, I'll say that I'm trying to repair the roof also. Continue. Now it will start asking very specific question to the specific items like deck. Is it a repair? or a replacement or a new one. So you want me to select new one? Okay, I'll select new. Fence, is it again going to be repair or new or a replacement? I'll say, okay, again, new, no problem. Shed, are you replacing an existing shed? Yes or no? No, no, I'm not replacing. Okay. Then windows, I'm replacing the windows, I'm replacing the door, and the roof, I'm repairing the roof, and continue. Okay. Now, these are the details. When you say that interior alteration and repair, you have to explain that, okay, I mean, renovating interior of the house. Okay. Now here it is asking the cost. The cost you have to put only for the interior work, which is now you are doing. And I will take this that, okay, you are spending some $9,000 on that. I mean, just taking a hypothetical value. So how much is the total area which is being renovated? Okay, let me select some 500 or maybe, okay, oh sorry, 500 square feet. Okay, then in the interior, are you replacing plumbing fixtures? I will say yes. Are you adding any new plumbing fixtures? Yes, okay. These are all selection you can decide. I mean, depending upon what exactly you are doing in the house. Replacing electrical, adding electrical, and changing the location of the bathroom and the kitchen. I mean, so these are just to make sure that what trade permits are required to be generated. So this gives a hint to that okay, you need some trade permits also. And for the exterior, door is a replacement, roof is a repair, window is a replacement. Then for the shed, I'm putting a new shed. Okay, and I'm purposely selecting this dimension, that the height is 8 feet and the width is 5 feet. Now, as per the code, you don't need a permit for the shed which has an area less than 50 square feet and 10 feet high. Okay, but here the area is coming as 40 square feet and the height is 8 feet. Normally, it should not generate any shed permit. Let us come to the last stage and I will tell you why this permit has been generated. I'm purposely selecting these dimensions because the code says that this shed doesn't require a permit. Okay, so I mean, these are the related questions, and if you want to answer that, fence is again new fence, and what is the height? Say 6 feet. Location entirely on the owner's property. Here, only one thing you have to keep it in mind, though we are not, if the fence is on the sharing line with the two properties, you have to get a letter of consent from the neighbor to put the fence. So anyway, I mean, right now I'm selecting entirely on the owner's land. Is this in the front of the house? I'll say no. What material? Okay, normally it is always wood. And the deck is a new permit. It's again new deck. What is the cost related to this deck? I mean, I'm just putting a hypothetical value here. Are you using the deck design guide? There is a deck design guide at the DCRA webpage, which gives all the details. And if you follow that particular deck design guide, you have to give us the minimum information as indicated in the deck design. That is the framing details, which tells where all the posts are going to be, and the elevation drawing, which tells that how high the deck is. And then there is a format on page number 38 of the deck design guide, which gives all the specification for the different type of woods which you are using. So you have to give only those 3 documents if you are following the deck design guide, unless you are getting your own design in the drawing, that is a different thing. But if you follow the deck design guide, which is very convenient, it gives all other details. You don't have to give us any details other than the 3 pages, which I have told you, that framing details which tells that which are the locations of the posts, elevation drawing, which tells what is the height of the deck, and the page number 38 to be filled, which gives the complete specification of the wood which you are using. So I'm following the deck design guide. Where it will be located. So normally the decks are in the rear only. So, but I mean, there are still other options. Now you see, this button is not blue. That means, and I have purposely done that. That means something you have not filled in the application on this particular page. So let us go and check that. Okay, so this is all filled. This is all filled. Shed is there. This thing is there. Does the work involve new or repair a concrete slab? This information we didn't put that. So I'll say that no.
You have another one higher up too, about a concrete slab,
Oh my God.
right there.
Yes. You see, you are the best. Are you replacing? No. Okay. So these are the 2 things. And then you see this button is blue now. So that means now you can continue. So if the button doesn't turn blue, that means something is missing on this page. No, I mean, it is asking you that, do you have the drawings? Okay, yes, I have the drawing. Are these drawings prepared by the DC licensed professional? If it is yes, then you have to give that license number of the professional. So for convenience, I will say that no, I have made the drawing. It doesn't, they are not prepared by the DC licensed professional. Okay, continue. Do you intend to use a DCRA certified third-party plan review company? I will say no. If it is yes, then you have to give the details for that. Are you digging? I will say no for the time being, to because not much digging is required. It is only the fence and the deck. So continue. Now, this is the page which gives you the complete summary what you have filled in the application. So you can check each and everything. If you are in doubt or you want to change it, you can go back and make that corrections. But this is a complete summary of what you have filled. Even the dimensions, everything, the cost, scope of work, everything is indicated in here on this summary sheet. And it says that based on the information, you will be required to submit some drawings and all that. So continue. Now, this is the button. If you click here, continue, you cannot go back to the application. So you have to click only once you are sure that all the information on the summary sheet is as per your requirement and you don't want any change in that. So then only click continue. Otherwise, you can go back and then go back here and see what exactly you want to make the change on which page. You can do that. So I'm assuming that I have filled all the information correctly. So I'm going to continue. I hope it won't stop in between. Oh, okay, good. Now you see, this page has given you that the amount which you have filled in the application, how much is the total fee going to be approximately? Okay. And this is the fee you have to pay to start processing your application. Okay. And it gives that what documents you may be required to, oh, sorry, what are, I mean, yeah, what are the documents which you require to be submitted and what the inspection requirements are going to be. So this gives a little brief idea that, okay, this is what you should be prepared for. And it tells you that, okay, you may require electrical permit, you may require the plumbing permit, because I didn't select anything for the mechanical. So it is not giving you that, okay, you need a mechanical permit also. But during review, if I find that something is required for the mechanical, it will be inform you in the permit under the conditions that you may need even the mechanical permit also. And these will be decided only after the building permit is issued, and these permits are related to the building permit only. It is not related to the deck, it is not related to the fence or the shed. It is only to the alteration and repair permit, which is a building permit. Okay, now you see here it has generated the alteration and repair permit. It has generated the deck permit. You have not decided, the application is deciding now you need a deck permit also, you need a fence permit also. Now, since this property was in historic, so irrespective of what the code says, you need a permit for all the things in the historic. Even though if it is not in historic, you don't need the permit for the shed because it is less than 40 square feet area and less than 10 feet high. But being in historic, you need a permit for that. If it is not in historic, even though you have filled that for the shed, it will not generate any permit for the shed. That means you don't need any permit for the shed in that case. Is it clear to everyone, sir?
Well, if you need the historic review, why do you put the other structural zoning and Department of Energy in there?
No, 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 no. These are to be decided by us when the process of accepting that application and the review process starts. We decide in the DCRA that which reviews are required depending upon the scope of work written in the application. It is, the application doesn't decide that. We decide when we start
Okay.
accepting your application and start the review process. At that time, all these things are decided by DCRA.
All right, got
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So and in the end, see, it says that go back to the dashboard. So if you click here down the dashboard, okay, now you see that this is my application which I have filled. So it has generated alteration and repair permit, that is a building permit. You need a plumbing and the gas permit also, electrical permit also. But this form will be completed. It can be done later on also by the trade permits, or I mean, until the building permit is issued, you cannot do anything with those things. It has generated the fence permit. It has generated the shed permit and the deck permit. So application has decided that you need building permit, deck permit, fence permit, and the shed permit. And at on all these application, it still says that some action is required. And it says payment is due. That means the filing fee, which was shown on the summary sheet, the filing fee is to be paid. Until you pay the filing fee, this application is not coming to DCRA to start the further process. So you have to pay the fee, the filing fee, and the filing fee can be paid if you go to the manage document, click here. Okay, you see here it says for the building permit, this is the amount pending. So you have to pay that fee. So once you click pay, says start that application. Now you have to give the B number, and the B number is here. Okay, so next. Okay, so these are the information which is giving, and put the email address. I certify that the statement of is correct and all that. These are normal things, and put your name and say next. Okay. So you have to give your own credit card number and all that. So let me put our number, hypothetical.
Seems like you ought to know that one.
Because I'm just copying from the top. So, I mean, before you click the button pay, make sure that all your information is correct, which you have given for the card number and all that. So then you click pay. Okay, so this application has been paid to start the process. So proceed to the permit dashboard. Oh God. Phew. Okay, now you see here for this one, that action required has gone. So that means you have paid the fee. Now this application is in the DCRA custody. So now all that invitation to upload the drawings and other things, that will be sent by DCRA, and you have to upload all the drawings which are required, or which architect or you have made it yourself. So until you upload all the drawing into the project docs, the review process will start only after you upload. So this is how, in brief, that how to fill that application. And similarly, I mean, because sometimes what happens is that you have filled that application and you decide, okay, let me forget about the fence. I don't want to put the fence right now, and I don't want to put the deck, maybe some other constraint, maybe the financial constraint. So you don't pay the fee. So that means this application is still with the DCRA, but no action will be taken until you pay the filing fee. But here you have paid the filing fee, so this process now starts. This application has come to us. We will review that application and send you the invite to upload the drawing. So, hope,
So is it the same process after this that we're used to?
yes,
Okay,
that
so
is,
this is the end of the permit wizard.
this is the end of the permit wizard application filling. That
So how do you collect the information that is in the old intake forms, you know, like for DOEE, and was there a button, you know, suppose there, let's use lead paint as an example. How does DOEE find out about the lead paint in the project?
no, once you are doing the interior renovation and you are doing the complete renovation of the house, we always send this application to the DOE. to decide about that what reviews they have to get it done for the lead paint and other things. So all application for the interior, it goes to the DOE. And if they need anything, they will let you know.
So there were a lot of questions on that intake form that are they all covered here someplace? Or when it goes to DOEE, that's when they find out that information?
I mean, if you, okay, I think I didn't show you that one. If you say that there is a digging involved, no, not that one. I mean, yes, I mean, you are correct. I mean, all this information DOE will send you only after the application is assigned to them. They will let you know in the comment. Because it depends upon so many factors. If you are just renovating the bathroom or the kitchen area, and it's not a big job, I mean, basically. So they may not ask you anything and approve the drawing as it is.
So when would you be asked if you needed a sediment permit for a project? When would you be asked for the sediment plan?
That I think, Mike, I mean, can you answer that? Mike?
So DOEE will do it in their review. However, what they do say, and I'll find the link again, you can go to their website and start doing their sediment plan review work, form in advance of even submitting a project for work, a permit application. So you can start getting a head start on it. But otherwise, as soon as the review begins, they'll be requesting it if they feel like it's necessary.
So if you're experienced and you know what's going to be required, can you just go ahead and submit it in the beginning? And then when DOE looks at it, that's, oh, everything's here, and approve it? If you did it
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Exactly.
But
That's
if
their
you're a
goal, at
newbie
least.
or a homeowner, you're not going to know that stuff. So it's going to have a little loop back where they say, okay, now we need this stuff.
Yeah, and there's projects where you may think you don't need a sediment plan and they decide they need one too. So
Mhm.
it's not a perfect world to be able to get it all done in advance. And certainly it's a fairly complicated process for a lot of folks. So yeah, if you're a newbie, you got to pay your dues, I guess, and get it figured out, learn the process.
So in this process or the normal process, I mean, again, it's never questioned like how you're getting rid of the debris. So it wouldn't, and I'm assuming the review as it continues, it's probably never going to be brought up to the homeowner. Hey, if you're going to be using a dumpster, you also need a dumpster permit, or does that get triggered as well?
No, it doesn't. I mean, there is no dumpster permit in the District of Columbia for homeowners. It's part of the building permit.
What's part of the building permit? A dumpster?
If you're using that at the house, there is. Now, if you're going to set that dumpster in public space, then you have a separate permit you have to get from DDOT.
Yeah, okay.
But the building department doesn't have a requirement.
Yeah.
And that dumpster
and
for the public use is separate from the process and outside of the DCRA process for plan review.
And so is there anything that going through the DCRA process would ping you that you need a public use permit?
Not until we see the whole plan set. So that's part of the we don't know where you're doing work, right? Until the plan review process starts. We don't know what's public space where you're touching it or not.
I mean, I can give an
So
example.
somewhere during.
I can give an example, like if suppose you are installing a fence, which is in the front of the house and very close to the sidewalk. So naturally, I mean, that part is in public space and the application may go to the public space also for their review.
So that you guys would pick up as you looked at the project.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we've been experiencing that we've received a building permit and then received a building permit and then went through sediment review. Sediment review requested we put chain link fence around a tree that was in public use space. And we were never told that we needed a public space permit. And then, we get a public use space officer at our job site telling us we have a fence in public use space without a permit. I'm wondering how did I get disconnected that I wasn't informed that I was going to need that?
Well, the easy answer is that two separate agencies from DCRA, but I just kind of I need to think through it a little bit to see if there's a way we can help facilitate that. I need to take that offline and think it through and give us some thought.
Yeah, I mean, it could be as simple as just in the comment that gets issued to put that fence in place. By the way, that's in public space, so you will need a public space permit.
But we're not looking.
Yeah.
The problem is we're not looking at that. It's not, it's not in our bailiwick. So I need
Well,
to
somebody
talk
told him to put the fence up.
DDOT or DOEE, who are separate from our plan review. That's why I have to talk to these other agencies and give it some thought.
That would be very much appreciated for sure.
I'm sure it is. I sure it is.
Seems
but
like it seems like
are you with
we're
Keith by any
we don't
chance?
know. Am I with who?
Are you working with Keith on a project? Keith Long?
No.
Okay, because I literally got this same thing from him last night. So I was like, wow, I heard this. I know this story, but it's a separate one. Okay.
No, it happened to us about a week and a half ago or so. And again, it turns out that there's just several permits that we didn't know we needed. And sometimes it seems like the only way you find out what you do need is when somebody shows up and just puts a stop work order on you. And then you're like, oh, now I know what I need.
Yeah, I have to think about how we can. Anyway, I don't know. I don't have a good answer, but I will try and figure something out in the near future.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we're at the end of the presentation. Big B, you done with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you really done with him?
No, I'm not. But I promise not to bring personal jobs in to these meetings. So I'm looking forward to a conversation with Big B.
Anytime, sir, anytime.
If I could just, in looking at this screen, I'll share with the group. We've got a building permit, a retaining wall permit, and a deck permit. And one of the reviews got done by somebody else. So the comments between the reviews don't line up with each other. So do you guys have a reaction to that? See, if we've got to have all these separate permits, I understand why, but they all ought to stay associated with the same master building permit, so that the same guy reviews it as a whole project.
Okay, yep.
This is an interesting conundrum we're in, because we have different things coming from different customer groups. By issuing the individual permits for a deck, a fence, and remodeling, it actually costs the homeowner less money in permit fees. And it allows different people to do different work, and it allows customers to be able to choose when they do work and what they get approved at which time. So the purpose of it was to separate them out. Is residents were giving us feedback that they wanted the choice of, hey, I want to get these applications done. I want to get it all approved. Now that I have the permit, oh, I'm going to do the fence this month. The next quarter, I'm doing the deck, and next quarter after that, I'm doing something else. And they wanted to be able to parse them out. Then there are folks like you who are doing projects for a house, and you're like, hey, I kind of want them all together. And we currently don't have a way to do both. So we've gone with what the residents have chosen. They are clustered in many ways just because it's by address, right? And that's how we cluster things, is that address.
But even using this project that we created as an example, there was one design professional. So in our case, there's one set of drawing that covers all the work that gets submitted for each of these things, where really, in looking at the way you've set it up, as a design professional, he should have divided up and done a set of plans for one thing, and then another set of plans for something else, and another set of plans. Because the guy looking at the deck permit is looking at stuff for a retaining wall and saying, well, why is this retaining wall in here? That's not part of my permit that I'm looking at.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we don't have a solution for that yet that works.
Yeah. Well, I think if, in our case, if the same person had reviewed it all, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may be able to solve that with the new, when we come back in January, showing you something that's a replacement for project docs. We may have a
That was my
solution.
next question. I mean, you really had talked about having a one-stop shop that it replaced project docs. So that's still coming?
Yeah, I would, I was on the management call yesterday and this morning, and one group is saying December, and I'm saying it'll be end of January, first part of February. I'm a little more realistic about what we can get done during Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
And will it be part of this permit wizard? It'll just be an extension of this where it stops?
That's our goal. So we have to develop out that piece, which is why I know we won't be done by the end of December.
Have you guys developed this all in-house, or are you using a software developer?
No, the permit wizard was developed in-house with a software developer team. The replacement for project docs is a product called ePlan software.
We have a question from Tamar. So her first part was, do all 800 lot numbers need to be subdivided? And I believe, Michael, you let me know that you're not sure about the answer for that.
No, I'm clueless is what I am on this
I
one.
don't know if you want me to
I'm
say
trying to
that.
see. I'm trying to see if I can get an answer real quick from somebody who would have a clue.
All right. But the other part, she says, or is some work allowed, shed, fence, question mark. Are there any ways to expedite permits? Are expediters a good suggestion with online permitting?
Expediters get you nothing in terms of moving to the front of the line.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. An expediter is doing what you're doing, and the intent of the permit wizard is to make the application process easier so you don't have to hire it out.
Okay, thank you. And I have a question. I'd like to know who is iPad number 2, please. I do keep track of, who registers and attends, et cetera, but I don't know who iPad number 2 is.
Myron Ward. I'm an architect in DC.
Oh, hi, Myron. Okay, welcome. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Anybody else have any questions? I don't see anything else in the chat.
I do have a question, and I don't mean to be confusing, but going back to the gentleman's statement, a couple statements back about separate drawing packages for each of those tasks, that seems to still really be dependent on how the job's set up. in my eyes, that's just creating a lot of extra work. That's my comment.
Anyone want to chime in on that?
Well, that was my point. So
Okay,
I think the message was received.
got you. All right. Anything else?
All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and we will keep you posted in January. We are going to have the director of DCRA telling us about future plans for DCRA. So look forward
And
to those announcements.
And Debbie, as soon as I hear something back about the 800 lot numbers, which I have no clue about, I'll send it over to you to spread the news.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
I can only.
Hopefully I'm not clueless by the end of the day.
I can only add to this is that if you are making a new addition, then definitely the zoning people, they ask for the subdivision, that number to be changed from 800 to a regular lot. Hello?
Yes. I think
So
they
Big
can.
B was saying if you're doing an addition, he definitely knows that you need to do the lot subdivision.
Yes.
But the question really is there a drawing, a line between an addition and a shed where you don't need to do that? And that's what Michael's going to investigate.
All right. Well, we are right on time, 3 o'clock. So thank you all so much for attending. If we don't talk to you before then, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We hope to see you on December 8th. We have a pro after hours holiday party, and prior to that, pro perk seminar at TW Perry's in Springfield, Virginia.